former local dentist who went to jail for practicing dentistry without a license, along with several other crimes, is out and has a new business. Dr. Robert Mansueto lost his dental license back in 2005. Mansueto was also the subject of a 2016 Team 10 investigation. 2 years later, he was sentenced to time in jail. Now, a San Diego woman tells Team 10 investigator Adam Rakusin Mansueto offered to drive her across the border and potentially end her struggle with migraines.
For William Paulus, most days are met with some sort of pain.
I've struggled with headaches for the last 30-some years.
So when she got an email this past November from the World Migraine Relief Center offering permanent migraine relief, William jumped at the chance.
But I went ahead and did the survey, and it asked how my headaches are and all of that.
William says after that survey came a conversation with a man who called himself Dr. Robert Mansueto.
At some point, we connected via phone, and he was telling me more, and he told me about how he was a doctor and he had been a dentist and how he had stumbled on this procedure.
William says she paid around $500 for more information and a better understanding of Mansueto's non-surgical procedure. But even after she paid the money, she says she was still confused about exactly how everything worked.
He explained to me that this procedure had to be done in Mexico because the state, when he had put the ad in the paper, the state of California had reached out to him and said, "You're not allowed to do this."
William says while she wasn't willing to take a ride from Mansueto, a friend offered to take her across the border. But before doing that, she says another friend asked just how much she knew about the man she called Dr. Bob.
He said, "Well, why don't we Google him?" So we Googled him. And lo and behold, everything showed up. That his license had been taken away in 2005. And then the report that you had done with Allison.
William's talking about this series of Team 10 investigative stories that revealed Mansueto, whose dental license was revoked back in 2005, was possibly practicing dentistry under the name Dr. Bob Franco. The investigation uncovered he was meeting patients at his Coronado home and driving them down to Tijuana, where another dentist would assist Mansueto in performing dental implant surgery. In 2018, Mansueto pleaded guilty to 2 felony counts and 3 misdemeanor counts against him, including unlicensed dentistry with the risk of bodily harm, grand theft, and practicing dentistry under a false name. He was sentenced to 4 years behind bars.
I wish to express my deepest apology for those that I did harm, angered, and inconvenienced.
Williams says she told Mansueto no thanks to any procedures. After that, they communicated by text message. She read us their back-and-forth messages.
And I said, "I want my $500 back. You are a convicted felon." And he answered, "For driving people to Mexico for dental care, pled to a lie during a very vulnerable time right after my wife died, so attorneys could steal massive amounts of money. You have to ask yourself why."
Team 10 called the number listed for the World Center for Migraine Relief. Over a series of months, ABC 10 News has had several conversations with a man who says he's Dr. Robert Mansueto. Some of those conversations were heated, with Mansueto claiming the station targeted him. He called previous reporting smears that impacted his family and life. Mansueto claims he was set up by the Dental Board of California and taken advantage of by his criminal defense attorney, something she's denied, and she no longer represents him. Instead of wanting to talk about past actions, his time in jail, and why he's practicing in Mexico, Mansueto pushed what he calls a discovery on migraines and sent us chapters of a book he wrote. In one phone call, Mansueto says he's not operating in California and chose to practice where he's legal. William did get her money back. As for her thoughts on the interactions with Dr. Mansueto,
when you're suffering and you're suffering badly, you're pretty willing to do almost anything.
Adam Rakusin, ABC 10 News.
In a search of records in Mexico, it appears Mansueto is allowed to legally practice.